Hi guys, I'm Cory from PC Gamer.
This is Tom McNamara at Maximum PC.
And we both played Civilization Beyond Earth this past week.
The first 100 turns, and then they cut us off.
And then we started again and played 100 more turns.
Yeah. Well, if only. I think my second one was only like 15 turns.
And what did you think?
Well, it's funny. The lead designer, or the co-lead designer, Will Miller, is like, this is not a sequel to Alpha Centauri. And it feels kind of like a sequel to Alpha Centauri. They're not calling it that for one reason because they didn't get the rights to the name, I guess.
Legal reasons.
But he swears that that even if they had gotten the IP, that they would not have used it.
I like how it's the franchise is getting away from the historical constraints that it had before, right? In a lot of ways that, Alpha Centauri did. Now you don't have to start with just cavemen with clubs. You can start really thinking about what kind of future your version of humanity is going to have, and it frees up a lot of what Firaxis can do in terms of the resources that you're bringing in, the research, the technology that you're going after, and also even just the aliens that you end up fighting, and like who's a bad guy and who's a good guy.
Yeah, they can be speculative about the science. They can do the kinds of things that there's just no chronological time frame for in previous Civ games. So
I liked that.
Yeah.
Were you into it?
Well, I'm a big sci-fi fan, so I fall right in line with the kind of game like this.
So I had some serious problems with the aliens when I played.
Yeah, I overheard you cursing a lot.
So in my playthrough, I spent a lot of time trying to best the aliens, and who were leaving me alone until I started some stuff, and then they just thrashed me. Like I threw all of the early game stuff that I had at them, and they just absolutely demolished my colony. Is that what happened with you?
Well, I kind of took the hippy-dippy route and decided to hug some trees.
Were you going for like the harmony path? Were you trying to become one with the alien planet?
Well, what I noticed was that with my explorer unit, the scout unit, he was taking damage from these poison clouds around the map, and I was like, well, this sucks because I don't want him to die, and I don't want to take time healing it back up.
Yeah, that's the miasma.
Right, the miasma, and the harmony path has an upgrade where you actually gain health from those clouds instead of losing health. So it's like, that might come in pretty handy.
Okay. Yeah, that was smart. I was definitely going for more of the supremacy route because I wanted to eventually be a cyborg, like, we will assimilate you kind of civilization. So I thought it would really make a lot of sense to try to clear out the aliens who were guarding this artifact that I wanted to research.
Oh, okay. I thought it was interesting, though, that when you do get to one of these locations, unless it's a resource pod, that's like you can get energy or you can get a satellite that way, and that'll get you energy, which is the currency of the game instead of gold. It takes like 5 turns for your explorer unit to excavate that area, and he only has 1 kit for that. And when he's out, he has to go back to town and get another kit.
If you start building in the right path, you can get more kits for those explorers.
Okay.
That's what a developer told me, but yeah, I only had the 1, and I could only send them out on certain missions.
Yeah.
What did you think of the new virtue system, which is very much like Civ 5's social policy trees?
Yeah, I thought I was intrigued by them because they were a lot more in depth. Instead of having like 9 or 10 of them, they only had 4, but there are a lot more. It was like 8 or 9 tiers for each social policy, and then there was this overlapping grid of synergies where if you picked 1 tier of each social policy, that would give you, of each virtue, that would give you like a free virtue of your choice.
Right, and it was counting them horizontally or vertically. Mm-hmm. So there were times where it made sense to kind of diversify across the 4 new trees. Yeah. And sometimes you just want to go deep into 1 tree depending on what path you want to take. I really liked the orbital layer that they have on this. There's a lot of satellites that you can throw up into the air, and they'll give you different bonuses, even from a military standpoint, as well as like research. I really liked the art style of the game. Like I said, I'm really happy we don't have to be stuck in the Stone Ages anymore, and Firaxis has the ability to throw in lots of crazy looking aliens.
Yeah, apparently with our playthrough, they were giving us a lush biome to play in. So there was a lot of exotic colors, and there were things that you don't usually see in a Civ game. Like there was these canyons that you can't traverse if you're a ground unit, and then there's these huge craters where I guess asteroids or other objects have landed, and there's really There's these exotic creatures and critters crawling along, and I guess those are the alien versions of like horses and pigs,
Right.
and other resources. And some of those aliens are actually they might kill you or attack you if you get close. So you have to figure out how to distinguish what is dangerous and what isn't, and what can you take advantage of, and what can you ignore.
And this is only one of a few biomes that they're going to have available.
Right.
There are desert planets. There are fungus planets that the developers were telling us about, which just sounds horrifying to me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it sounds like a whole new kind of Mushroom Kingdom to play around in.
Yeah.
I don't know. 100 turns wasn't enough for me. I left wanting to play more. I had that one more turn feeling, right after they said, okay, stop playing.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for Civ.
Yeah, the time that we had with it went by pretty quickly.
Yeah. And that's what we thought of Sid Meier's Civilization Beyond Earth, which is out on October 24th.